Actually, me. Trav, I feel like this is a long time coming. It's been about probably like 14, 15 years in the making.
Yeah.
Listen, I was telling my cousin, we recording, right? Yeah. I was telling my cousin, he was like, wait, who coming today? I was like, Travis, and I started listing off your achievements and your positions. And that's like, when I had the Royal Line show back in the day, you are, oh, hell no. So, we go way back.
Yeah.
So the point, like, it was like a family trip. Me and my cousins was just in the room, and I mean, all our family was there, and like we just was playing funny videos, and that's how my mommy actually started liking, because she started watching the videos.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my boy. This, that, and then later on, interestingly, I was telling my dad, I was like, this who is you interviewing today? He's like, Travis? Who Travis? I just say, Travis, Edgecombe. Oh, okay, what are you up to? And I start saying da. So,
Yeah.
Coach Ties, this ain't really no stranger. And the list goes on. So we normally have a cold opening. Actually, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Just
feeling the summer
leisurely,
vibes.
yeah.
I'm enjoying the summer break.
Yeah, in total summer vibes. I feel like going fishing, diving in the water today. So it's like, let me be casual.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a very eventful show. So before we really get into things, let me introduce myself. I am the Negus of Nassau, St. Antoine Alexander, Lord Jalen Willard at your service. And welcome to Erryting Kool.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
The tourists come over to chill on the beach, but they don't come over the hill where we sleep. We got nightmares and they got fantasies. No sanity, it's just insanity. My mommy hoping nothing happens to me.
And that's where we cut. And then on the left of me, we have the illustrious. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, everybody. My name is Travis Edgecombe. I am the CEO of the Bahamas Gospel Music Awards.
CEO.
I am
Hold on,
the...
wait, you for real?
Yeah.
When you became CEO? But all kind of new things. Because I know you was having that space, but go ahead, finish, introduce yourself.
I'm also the CEO of Edgy Management, where I do public relations and management for artists, public figures, and small businesses as well.
Nice.
I also work to Fincastle Media Group as a content manager. Shout out to Fincastle Media Group.
Yes, they're doing wonderful things over there. I see you.
Yeah. I also sing background for everybody.
Yeah, because you always be in the back with your T-shirt on, about the stream and stuff like that.
And I am you could say, like a small content creator.
A little. Bro,
a
you
little
almost a legend, bro. I ain't gonna lie. If you like carry or hell no into, if you sort of catch the wave like 2015, 2016 when like Vine and Instagram started bubbling, Snapchat, you would have been. I mean, you're still a legend regardless. But just for that aspect, I wouldn't say little content creator, because he come from in front of the camera to behind the scenes. If you know, you know.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh Hell No was something that...
No, before we go into that,
Sure, okay,
we have a segment
Okay.
on this show called the Bahamian word, phrase, or saying of the day. And we always give that privilege to our guests to give us the word, phrase, or saying of the day. You gotta think.
I could say that's a vibe.
That's a vibe. Did we ever? That's a vibe? I think we had vibe before, but we ain't had that in a long time. We here Erryting Kool. We on the road to 100, so at this point, anything goes. So that's a vibe. For our international audience, please tell them what that's a vibe mean.
Meaning is, if you explain a certain situation, it kind of thought provoking, or it got you surprised, and you'd be like, boy, that's so why. Yeah.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So, Travis Edgecombe. My first initial introduction, I don't even know, plenty of people I know nowadays and familiar with, I don't know, I followed them like 15 years ago, and I was like, I don't know how I add you on Facebook, but I think during that time it was just a fruit craze in the Bahamas, like everybody's leaving high five and coming to Facebook and just
right.
adding people, and whoever stuck, or change profiles or whatever. So so tell us your origin story. What is the origin narrative of Travis Edgecombe?
Well, I was born here in Nassau to Delarice and Delarice Wilson now, and Al Edgecombe, and I have two siblings, Francesco and Ethan Edgecombe, who's also known as Tippy. Tippy. They call him Tippy because he used to tip on his toes when he was kids.
Oh, tip on your toe.
Yeah. And I went to Temple Christian Elementary School and went to Kingsway for 2 years, grades 7 and 8.
Okay.
And I went back to Temple Christian for grades 9 through 12. And then after that, I took a year off from school. I was like, I wasn't into no college. I wanted to work and make some money. But that didn't work out too well. So I decided to go to COE at the time. And in 2009, in October of 2009, that's where Oh Hell No was birthed. I had a camera that I just had used because I used to just take pictures of every event I went to, everywhere I went. So I just post them on Facebook. So I said, you know what, I should do a show. And I just decided to do an episode of Oh Hell No. And me not knowing too much about editing, I decided to use Windows Movie Maker.
And that's how I started too.
So all of my episodes were made on Movie Maker, and for some reason, as soon as I posted the first 2-3 episodes, it caught a blaze, and I didn't expect it to be as popular as it did back then, because I think Oh Hell No is now about 12-13 years old. And I was like, this is some serious stuff. And I had to literally sit down and put episodes together of what I would talk about, whether it's inspirational, whether it's politics, whether it was what's going on.
Oh, yes, my youth.
Yes,
what
my youth.
What is yes, my youth?
Like all of those things that I thought that was relevant to my generation at the time, millennials. And the show moved for about 3 seasons. And then I started out at COB in culinary, where I wanted to be a chef. And about a year after that, I quickly shifted from that and went to mass communications. Then the dean of the school told us that they were going to make the journalism associates and the mass into BA. So I say, okay, well, let me try this stuff out, because I always wanted to be on radio. And that still ain't happened yet. But you never say never. You can make it happen, I'll never say never. But went through my time at UB and got out of there, and I went to work for the counselors, where I was working at Bahamas at Sunrise, and I had my own segment called Trending with Travis.
Oh, wow.
On the show as well. And then I was able to produce the new segments for that, and it was good because that's where I fell in love with public relations. At the counselors.
I feel like counselors is the bedrock for most, well, of a certain age. I would say those who probably between 27 to 45 right now, who in media had some tie or had to go through the counselors at some point. Even a lot of other established entities that have been around a long time, a lot of them started out at the counselors. Unfortunately, my father worked there, and then meeting everybody, so I equated with those people there, Miss Aubrey and those, and then
shout out to them.
And then a lot of people started at the movie group too, and I used to intern there, so met a lot of people coming through there. So these are the building blocks. Because I sort of know how like a lot of things stem, like who was here and then they move here and then this branch off to this branch off to this, and just bear witness to it all. It has been amazing and somewhat historical from a documentarian standpoint. So that's always cool. So Which I think I remember the day you posted that you left from the counselors.
I left in October of 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was shortly before I came back home. From Atlanta. So what you did between that time? I know you was at some point, I forget what the group name.
I had left them and I went to Elevation Media Group.
Yes, Elevation.
I was there, and that's where I really got my feet wet into dealing with production and awards and my script writing skills, and I tapped into all of that, and we produced a show called The Rush.
Okay, I remember.
And then at the time when I went there, I had to jump right into work because that was when the first Elevation Awards was being in preparations to be introduced to the Bahamas, and also coming out the following year. So we worked very hard in making sure that we pulled that off, and engagement of the people and the attraction of it was huge. And 5 years later, we're still around.
Okay, so the Elevation Awards is still...
The Elevation Awards is still around, and the Elevation Awards is coming back.
Okay, that's cool, because I know a lot of things have been hampered by these last 2 going on 3 years because of the pandemic, and everybody's starting to just like jumpstart what they had going on in 2019.
Right. We were actually able to have the Elevation Awards November of 2020.
Okay.
In the pandemic.
So you did it online?
Yeah, we did it. We did it virtually. So we had to work hard and shoot certain performances virtually so that we were able to put the show together and have it ready for 2020. Now, last year we weren't able to have it, but with talking with the CEO, he said that he wants to bring it back for our 5th anniversary. So, yeah. That's
amazing. So, you've been highlighting public. You would say you're a public relations officer.
Yes.
So for the people that don't know, break down what exactly that is and how maybe someone that has a platform that thing may be essential for them to how they sort of carry their brand and how they appear to the masses.
Well, first of all, the people that would like to get into this area, you won't sometimes you won't get that time to sit down and Google and research and learn what public relations is. Sometimes you are thrown into the water, as I was when I first went. And public relations is relations with people, with the public, in terms of receiving and giving information that is needed to be sent to the public, and making sure that the right information is being distributed to the public, pertaining to whatever campaign, whatever event, whatever political story that's out there. You control the narrative, and based on what you say in the statements that you reveal or what you release, determines either the brand or the story or the product that you're trying to portray to the public.
Why do you think companies don't think PR is necessary, or they undersell it? Because most of the time people just think they even understand marketing and advertising.
I think they get those two things mixed up. I think a lot of times because they already have a marketing director or a VP of marketing at their company, they feel as if that PR is unnecessary. But you have to have some kind of public relations representation, because now social media and technology has advanced. Versus what it was 20 years ago, where now if there's an issue or a scandal that involves a certain company, you're going to need a communications director, a PR director that's able to communicate on the company's behalf and make sure that they're able to clean up or bandage whatever is damaged, and making sure that the brand stays intact whenever there's an issue that arises, whether it's good or bad. So you will always need that PR representation in every aspect of business.
Okay. Because oftentimes a big question is like, how much as a company or individual I need to start making before I should consider hiring a PR officer? Like, maybe my business is too small and I can't afford something like that and I have to do it personally, or maybe there's other ways and other alternatives to sort of get that service, but something that could be feasible for a small business's budget.
Well, the good thing about it is that in PR, you could choose what you want. For example, if you're a small business and you just need a commercial, we'll give you that 30-second commercial, that 60-second commercial. If you just need a press release done, we'll get that press release done. If you need us to do a 3-month campaign of a product that you're trying to push, we could do that with a fee that is affordable for your budget. And then businesses should be able to understand that not all PR agencies or a PR entrepreneur is going to be expensive to the point where it's going to hurt your pocket. And I have to say this, and some people may not like it, but if you want your brand to be the best of the best,
you got to spend that money.
You got to spend that money. You can't be cheap with it. And a lot of people believe that you could get the best product and still be cheap with it. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So if you really want the best out of what it is that you want to portray into the public, you got to hire the best PR agency or the best PR representative to represent your brand and company.
This is I would say this statement is probably cliche, but people say bad publicity is still good publicity.
That is true.
Okay, why? Because some people will be like, no, I want to be seen as that, but then it's like, wait, look at the numbers.
Exactly, because guess what? For example, if you were to go to a food establishment and there was a situation that occurred between the waiter and the customer, there may be someone in the public that may be watching the news that have never heard of the business establishment. And it gives the people to go on their social media platforms and say, what is this? What is this place all about? What do they sell? What kind of food do they have? right, like the chicken wings. But it draws traction to both the person that is affected and also the business that is being portrayed in a bad light. So it's good and bad for both businesses. But then it takes the PR representative to drive that story and turn it around and make it positive. That can be beneficial for both the person that is affected and then also for the business that is also being portrayed as this enemy. So once you're able to navigate that and drive that around to doing something positive, then that's where PR comes in place.
I think those people in Freeport need some PR services right now. I was like, some type of wing special, like, hey, we got 3 to your plate, So after you were at a time with Elevation, then you made the transition over to, is it Fincastle or you gotta stop before
Actually, after I had left Elevation Media Group, which is now Encore Records, I transitioned into my own. As a matter of fact, I left Elevation Media Group and I went to work at Family Guardian as a client services coordinator for Bahamian Health. Hated it.
Why?
Hated it because it was a 9-to-5 job, and me being a creative, I felt it was redundant. It was the same thing over there, and I didn't want to do all them exams, and I just wasn't interested in insurance. That's just what I didn't want to do. So while I worked there, I was able to write the vision of my company, Edgy Management, which was born at my cubicle desk in my journal that I wrote down. And I was able to write down the vision for the company, where I was able to do public relations for music artists, public figures, whether you're a speaker, athlete, whatever it is, and small business.
Okay.
So I was able to engage. My first artist was Carissa Smith.
Okay, from Essence Band.
From Essence Band.
Okay.
And she had called me for a meeting, and she had asked me to assist her with her management because she trusted me that I knew a lot about the music business. And she was my first client, and then I started a company called Edgy Lyrics.
For songwriting.
And the Edgy came from my last name, where my last name is Edgecombe. So I dropped the com, left the Edge, and I don't know why. So I said Edgy Management. And Edgy Productions is another company that I started as well. So it's like a 3-fold company where whatever services you need from me, I'm able to offer it to the public. Leonisha, who's also known as Leo, I also represented her. Carrington McKinsey is a former client of mine who I manage. Right now I'm managing Davy and Chase, this new gospel group called Ignited. I'm managing this girl named Gabrielle Finlayson, who is the season 4 winner for 242 on Tap.
Okay.
And also I'm representing E-Man now.
E-Man as artist?
E-Man, yes. E-Man,
Okay.
the gospel artist, the gospel rapper as well.
Okay.
So I'm representing him now. So good things are coming up for Edgy Management.
So how do you pick a client? Because, I've been managing Kool-Aid, #Banana Fan Fantastic.
Right.
Checking with my boy for the last 5 years. And managing talent isn't the easiest thing. And you have a whole stable full. And sort of laying out a vision and having the client to buy in and go through the steps and them seeing the progress and success of what you tell them about. Like, what's that process like for you?
Well, to be honest, at the beginning of Edgy Management, to say that I had it all together and I knew everything that I was doing would be a lie if I said that. You're not going to get it right the first time. And it's sad because you feel as if that you're taking a trial with your very first client, and there's a certain level of expectancy from them when they engage your services to do a job for them. So I think that was where I was able to make my early mistakes as a manager, where certain things that I thought was supposed to be really wasn't. There were certain requirements of me from my clients that were expected of me, and I wasn't able to deliver it the way that they wanted me to, which had caused them to for us to go our separate ways, which is fine with me because that was a part of the learning experience, the learning process, and you grow. And I had to do research. I had to speak with people that were above me, that's been seasoned in the industry in terms of managing artists. And I had to speak to people not just here locally, but also people international to get advice. Usually when people see the work that you do, and PR is sometimes word of mouth as well. They usually say, well, I'm being managed by this guy named Travis Edgecombe. He has a company called Edgy Management, and they usually would say, well, let me try him out. And based on the client who you represent and how well you do, they will speak on your behalf, and they'll do the PR for you, and it'll drive the business to your company as well. So I've been blessed to have a group of amazing clients that trust me with their career journey and their musical journey as artists.
So do you only select gospel artists? And how profitable is sort of managing the artists in the Bahamas? Because we know this music industry conversation has always been an ongoing thing about how we make it profitable. Do we have a big enough market to absorb as to where you could do this full time and you don't have to have any side gigs? What's your perspective on that?
Here in the Bahamas, it's very difficult, especially working along with the gospel industry, to make anything profitable for our gospel artists. I think it's going to take for a united front of gospel artists to say that we are no longer taking invitations for free. Because a lot of people believe that just because you're in the church, that means that you could take advantage of the artists, versus the secular who will charge you to hit that stage. But a lot of times our gospel artists, they say, well, I'm doing this for the will of the Lord. Yeah, that may be so. Yes, you are. But then your gas isn't free. You trying to find the right outfit to wear for that concert or that conference or that whatever it is that you're required to do, that takes money. That takes time. And you're not going to the studio on air. You have to spend money to that producer to get it mixed, get it mastered. You have to
Marketing and PR.
You have to pay the BGVs that's singing backgrounds on your track. Like, that requires money. So I had to drop gospel nuggets on my Facebook statuses.
Yeah, I've actually seen them.
Yeah, where I'm able to educate the gospel industry that there are certain things you have to do in order to market yourself as an artist, and there are certain aspects of business. The business aspect in the gospel industry is definitely missing. So I'm trying to educate our gospel artists to, although you're doing this for the Lord, you have to also have a business head in terms of how you would want your brand as an artist to be portrayed in the public eye.
I think a lot of Bahamian artists don't lack the business acumen because they think, let me just create and then hopefully it blow up and then hopefully I get paid.
Yeah, they believe that they could just send the song to the radio and it'll market itself. No, you gotta do more than that.
You gotta shoot videos. You gotta have certain marketing campaigns releasing your music. You gotta push your music for a certain amount of time. You have to make this, do an interview with this person and do an interview with this person just to move around and get audiences, and then you have to perform both locally and internationally because we always forget the international part. because we'd be like, oh, that's too far reaching, but it's like, no, you have to do it.
Right.
That's the only way you get your name out there.
Right.
So, you know.
Right.
So now, what really got you into the whole music industry? Because I see, for early on, you had a love for being in the church and singing in choir from your...
Yeah.
You still go to Mount Tabor, Abundant Life.
Yes.
Okay, so you was always a part of Abundant Light's music ministry, like...
Yeah, from a kid, I was a music junkie.
Okay.
I always wanted to be a music critic. I used to watch all of the VH1 Behind the Music, E-True Hollywood Stories. I love watching documentaries and the journeys of music artists. I loved gospel music. Gospel music is my first love. And R&B. I love some good 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s R&B and early 2000s. My opinion, the R&B that's out now is a bit...
I mean, I feel like it was dead because I used to tease my ex-girlfriend about that, like when we was together 6-7 years ago. She loved R&B, and I was like, bro, today R&B is dead. I see they trying to come back, but everybody's like, it's too much hip hop infusion.
It's very trappy. Yeah, the real rhythm and blues
whispery.
feel. Yeah, and whispery. The real singing with a lot of soul. That's missing. I would love to see that come back eventually. But that's where I got my love for music. I would go on the Billboard website and look and see who's the top of the charts, what song is slamming, what song is at the top, and what song is drifting away. And I used to keep myself knowledgeable of who was who and in R&B and pop and everything. Now today I can't keep up.
Yeah, it's too much.
Because every week is a little something, a little that,
or
a
some
little
new
this.
artists. That's why I listen to like music podcasts to be like, okay, this come out.
Yeah.
All right, let me check this out.
Yeah.
And then I like what I like.
Right. So I haven't been keeping up that much of who's been out there, but here locally, we got some talent that has not been discovered as yet, and I can't wait for them to release the music that they've been doing in the studios and for the Bahamas to hear them, because we really have a new generation of talent that's going to be coming up very soon.
So there's just strictly gospel, or there's a plethora of other genres?
I think it's a plethora of other genres because with me working along with the Elevation Awards, I get to see the underground artists. I get to see the ones who are true to the rake and scrape junkanoo, which is our indigenous sound, and then also people who choose pop and R&B and all those other genres that you wouldn't see regularly on the regatta stages or the national stages, but they're doing their music. And they're venturing out into international platforms so that their music is getting out there. So, for example, one of my favorite artists, say about a couple years ago, would have been Kia. You know, her song "Faded" is still a mood and still a jam.
Yeah, it is.
And I would love to see more
I
artists
think
like
she
her.
put out an EP for
Yeah, she did.
Like
She
last
did,
year, or,
which was really good. You know, so I would like to see more R&B artists and more other artists that venture in other genres rise up here in the Bahamas locally.
What's your definition of Bahamian music?
Any Bahamian that does music is Bahamian music. I don't think it should be linked to just one genre, which is what people feel as if it's indigenous, which is rake and scrape and junkanoo. If you're a Bahamian and you do pop, that's Bahamian music to you. If it's someone that does country and it's a Bahamian, that's Bahamian country. If that's somebody that does rock, that's Bahamian rock. If someone chooses to do gospel, that's Bahamian gospel. Like any Bahamian that does any genre of music is Bahamian music.
Because I was explaining that to someone, I'm like, I understand the argument of Bahamian music is what is traditionally known, and or it's the argument of once this person says this, they are Bahamian,
Right.
and they're telling Bahamian stories,
Right.
and sometimes in the Bahamian vernacular,
Right.
it's Bahamian music. So
Yeah.
you know, people always fight often, but it's like, you know, it's you just got to find your way, and something may inspire you other than the so-called rake and scrape sound. And then, you know, there's always the argument that rake and scrape and junkanoo and not calypso, what's that, Gombe,
Right.
needs to be modernized, like how soca and other Caribbean music has been modernized.
But you know, I do believe that there are artists of today that have been able to infuse that sound. For example, Julian Believe, Dyson, Wendy, Bodine, Patrice Morel. They've been able to fuse those sounds together to make it modern and attractive to our generation. And I do believe that there is a generation that loves pure Junkanoo, rake, and scrape.
There is.
And I was able to watch a few videos of a place called The Farm, where I saw a lot of Bahamians go out there on a Friday night, and it was just clean fun where people just sang a bunch of rake and scrape songs, and people just bent to enjoy it. So there are a group and a percentage of young millennials and generation behind us who are engaged in the indigenous sound of the Bahamas. I do believe that our generation, the generation behind me, do need to embrace our culture. This is where we're from, and this is the sound of what our country has put together. That Junkanoo sound. One thing I know about us, we like ourselves some Junkanoo. You know, we'll put down the cell phones and we will be into the Junkanoo, and we go to Junkanoo practice. We go in to get pace our costume, and we go into Junkanoo December and New Year's, Boxing Day and New Year's Day. So it's not dying, but it needs to be more in your face for the generation to keep it going.
Yeah, because, you know, people, there was an argument about this. Like, you know, Bahamian artists don't get support, but it's like, that's why the Gombe Festival exists. Yeah. And it's like, people be like, well, if I know about this, I'll go to it. So it's like, okay, I think the Ministry of Tourism has made a concerted effort to put billboards like this will happen. And I think that's why people attending. Yeah. You know, people see going to the regatta as something to enjoy. And I think the younger generation, less than, you know, not really particularly millennials, but none of the Gen Zs are going back and doing their homework and embracing their culture because they see, okay, certain things are historically important, and I'll be historically important if I keep this going. Right. So, you know, so it's a cross section because I think the pride comes into play when you see other people take a sound, and you heart because you like, that's our sound. But it's like you isn't doing nothing with it.
And we don't be active about it or react to it until someone else from elsewhere takes it and makes it their own. That's when we be like, no, that's our sound. But if you don't take care of the sound that's yours, you know, it leaves room for somebody else to take it and make it their own. And we have to be careful. We have to protect our sound. We have to protect the genre that is most popular in this land, and the people that come here to visit as tourists love that sound. They love that Junkanoo experience. They love that rake and scrape. So we need to protect it. We need to keep it. We need to keep it going for years and years to come.
Okay, so what exactly do you do at your current position at Fincastle?
I am the content manager, so our responsibility is to get BTS of everything that we do, and then also create content to put on our various social media platforms, which is Fincastle Media Group, Driftwood Studios, which is the studios that we have that record photo shoots, commercials, TV shows, etc. And then also we do events as well. We plan press conferences and we do we cover events and stuff, and everything PR related. We do that there at Fincastle Media Group.
Cool, because I mean, I never seen Mario smile so hard when he was in the skit. Walking through the office. Shout out Mario. Yeah. Iman. Yeah. And that's like, you know, it's always good to see businesses embracing the youth as well, like, you know, because we at a time to where things are shifting and you have to keep up with the different trends. Yeah. But understand the principles of, say, craft, whether it be PR, marketing, advertising, production, whatever. So, you know, infusing, because I was a part of a young group now, but, you know, I was a part of a advertising agency not too long ago, and we did, you know, some monumental things, because it sort of wets the Bahamian creatives palette, because, okay, like when I was in Atlanta, I wanted to work for Vice or Noisy or BuzzFeed or something like that. Right. So, you know, and I've had meetings with Bahamian executives, and they refuse to modernize and stream and do all these interactive things. And now, because the pandemic happened, they see the value in it. Yeah, and it's like, if you too late, you 5 years too late. Yeah. You should jump on it from like 2015, 2016. Right. Yeah. Like, what do you say to that? You know, having a long work history in this field.
You have to also, your company has to be the cutting edge of what is relevant now. You can't wait until it pops off. You have to know what's going on now. And I think my boss, Paul Turnquest and Judge Ed Turnquest, have done a very good job in instilling that into everyone that works there at Fincastle Media Group, in making sure that we have the best equipment. Everything in our office is Apple. I'm an Android user. I haven't shifted over as yet,
Me
but
either.
my boss, those are Apple savvy. So our computers, our desk are all Apple related. The technology that we use is all Apple related. So they are aware of what it takes to making sure that our company is not just the best, but we're the cutting edge of what we would want to see in PR and also visually in the public and also the world.
That's great. That's great. What's the next step? Actually, before we get to the end, congratulations on your recent nomination. Is it from the 48 or the 49?
Top 49.
Okay, so top 49. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Travis, like myself, you was actually at the pinning ceremony?
I was.
Unfortunately, I could not attend, but I had to send someone to go get my pin because I was at work. But congratulations to you being nominated for the top 49.
Thank you, and congratulations to you.
From Project Y or Project Bahamas.
Project Bahamas.
Okay, because I remember, because it didn't dawn on me to where it came from. Because I remember Steven and Sherwin was talking about this concept from like 2018.
Yeah.
And then like, all of it came back to me. I'm like, oh, that's what he's building from then.
Yeah.
So, we gonna be sharp and debonair on August 7th. Is it 7 or 6?
August 6th.
August 6th at the ballroom. I'm thinking about doing something crazy with my socks, but keeping the suit plain because, that can be a hectic weekend for me. But how does it feel to be awarded for all your hard work and for someone to notice the time and attention that you've been putting into your craft to hone your craft?
To be honest, I'm not a person that is big on receiving recognition. I'm always behind the scenes. So now I'm just learning how to embrace the accomplishments that come my way. And to be recognized, it really tells me that people have been watching. They've been seeing the work that I've been doing for these past couple years, past decade, and some other years at it. And it's rewarding, it's refreshing, and it's humbling. And I can't wait to see what else is next for me.
Indeed, I was surprised because I thought it was pulling my leg when I saw the initial nomination. They had you fill out all this, and I was like, who nominated me? And I still don't know who.
I still don't know either. I still don't know who put my name in, but I'm grateful that they did.
Yes, indeed,
Yeah.
because I was like, okay. But sometimes I be in such a creative vacuum, I don't take notice. And you always look at the numbers your content doing. So if it don't do like viral numbers or, couple, probably when 10 viewers, 12 viewers.
Yeah.
Like, anybody watching, but I can still do this because I love doing it and
Right.
it makes me happy. But to look up and, people to say, yo, I've been watching you for a while and grinding and, putting in the work, that warms the heart. Because now, okay, I have more inspiration to keep on going, even though there may be times where I wanted to quit, give up, and just throw my hands up. But it's like, I got to press because this what I love to do. This is my God-given purpose.
Right.
And I got to see it to the end.
Right.
So what's next for you, Travis?
Right now, I just wrapped up the second year of the Bahamas Gospel Music Awards.
Okay.
And this year, I tired. So there's nothing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year. I'm just going to be resting and supporting my clients with other opportunities that come their way and managing them. And then we go right back into launching the award season in January. So we have something big coming up in January that I'll be able to announce then. And I'm excited for next year, since next year's our 50th independence. And I think that's going to be a huge year next year. So I'm excited about that as well.
That's great. So tell the people to that camera where all they can find everything, all your handles.
Okay, so if you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram, Godchild1989, Travis Edgecombe on Facebook, Edgy Management on Facebook, Bahamas Gospel Music Awards on Facebook, also Bahamas BGMA242 on Instagram. We're also on YouTube, the Bahamas Gospel Music Awards, and we are also on, I think that's it. Yes, and if you want to look for Fincastle Media Group, you can go to our Facebook page, Fincastle Media Group. We're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Travis Edgecombe, and just find me there. Yeah.
And it's just like that. Thank you again for joining us. Because we finally got this in the tank, because this was supposed to happen a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, but we, just delayed, never denied. See what they saying? But thank you for coming on Erryting Kool.
No problem, anytime.
And we can see y'all later. Yeah, yes, sir.